excited to bring on a new guest here on the Splash Live. Is Kendra Montante. She is the new PR marketing director for the West Bloomfield School District. She was just appointed this past week, and this is a position that is very near and dear to our West Bloomfield community, making sure that the West Bloomfield School District is getting the recognition they deserve throughout the school district. So we are so excited to have Kendra with us here this morning.
Thank you.
So Kendra,
I'm excited to be here.
Yes, it's so excited to have you here. Can you tell us first how exciting it is to be here in West Bloomfield and be the new PR marketing director?
So I was a resident in the district for many years, and my son went to school here. My daughter went to preschool here. So I'm very familiar with the community, love the community. We have many friends here. And so for me, it's an honor to come back here. I did some work previously for Dr. Hill in 2015. And I also did some work for Oakland Early College for several years, some marketing for them, and always enjoyed everyone that I worked with and the community members that I dealt with and the staff. And so for me, it's sort of like coming home, if that makes sense. So I'm very excited and honored to serve the district.
And you're obviously very familiar with the West Bloomfield School District, as well as you worked in the Farmington Public Schools before this. Can you tell us a little bit about the position, and for those who are maybe unfamiliar with what the PR marketing director does for a school district?
Sure. So it's my job to kind of communicate everything kind of across the board for the district. So anything from initiatives that we're working on, any events that we are doing in the district, things like social media, the website, handling some of the communications, like Dr. Hill's retirement was one that we just talked about at the board meeting. Those types of things are some of the things that come out of this office. We handle, newsletters out to the community, newsletters out to the staff. You name it, anything from when you think of marketing. So things like school of choice come to mind, or early childhood, kindergarten. So recruitment, retaining students, working on that piece as well. And then the public relations. So if there are concerns or issues, I work to resolve those, work with others to resolve those. And like I said, the marketing piece, and just assisting anyone with communications that they need help with.
And you went to school at San Diego State University as well as Madonna University. So Madonna is a little bit closer than San Diego here in West Bloomfield. Can you tell us a little bit about maybe the inspiration behind getting into the schooling aspect of business and then into PR marketing, which you are here in now and have been in a few of the prior years?
Sure. So my degree is in San Diego State is in sociology, which is very different. And I worked in social work for many years when I lived in San Diego, which was very challenging, but very fulfilling, wonderful career, and moved back to Michigan and worked for a marketing firm there. It was called Aspen Marketing, and we did event marketing and worked there several years. And our clients were Fortune 500 companies, so we did a lot of marketing for Fortune 500 companies. And then I went back to school, moved back to Michigan, and went to Madonna to get my teaching certificate. So became a teacher and taught at a couple different schools, a couple different grade levels. Loved that, but knew that I wanted to have a greater impact. And so continued on and got my master's in administration and became an administrator for a little while. Traveled around the state opening up cyber high schools when, back before online schooling was a thing. And then really enjoyed sort of the combining all of the elements together. So having that background as a teacher, an administrator, PTA, a counselor, and marketing, really melding them into one, which is sort of my position, right? It's being able to communicate to all those different people, and having that experience, I think gives me a really good perspective on how to communicate to those different parties.
And then if someone was looking to get into the West Bloomfield School District, either as a job, or if they have a child, or if they are a student that maybe wants to go to a West Bloomfield school, what would you say to them, that makes West Bloomfield different than maybe where you've been previously, or what you've seen thus far in your short time here in West Bloomfield as a PR marketing director?
Sure. I'd say one of the biggest pieces that has happened over the last several years is, as a district, the administrators and cabinet members and teachers really collaborate a lot. And that is beneficial to the students in a multitude of ways, teaching and learning, right? IT, kind of you name it, across the board. That really pulls people together and allows us to do what's best for children. So I'd say that's a big component of this district. I'd say the other thing is that the people here enjoy, not that everyone doesn't enjoy their work, but it's sort of not a job to a lot of people that work here. It's sort of just something that they do because they enjoy doing it. They love doing it. And so you're able to give more, you're able to put more into it, you're able to dedicate more to it because it's not, something that you dread doing or don't want to do. So I'd say that's also a big component of it. We have some amazing educators, as you know, as I know, in this district, and that's something to really be proud of.
And with the COVID-19 pandemic, obviously, I think schooling was one of the things that was impacted most, along with the local businesses that we have here in West Bloomfield. Do you see a difference with coming into a school district as the pandemic has kind of fizzled out a little bit? Obviously, we're still amidst the pandemic, but going into a school district a little bit later than March 2020, and then your experience during that pandemic in the other school districts?
Yeah, a lot of us in school districts talk to each other, so we know, what other districts are doing and how they were handling the pandemic. And I think no matter what district you're in, it was a tough time for families, for parents, for children. And I feel like we're just starting to kind of dig out of that, per se. Things like the fact of just being in school in person is huge for some districts, full time. Many districts didn't have that. So the adjustment of going back into school and students, learning the routines and knowing what the expectations are, right? Some students haven't stepped foot in some of their schools before, so that's a different and a change. And parents, right? It was tough on many parents and community members. So I feel like, the weight is starting to be lifted a bit, and I hope that continues because that's important, right? That social emotional learning piece is sort of what we've been working on and continue to work on. So I'd say if we continue moving in that direction, then this will look much better next year.
Well, thank you so much this morning for joining us, Kendra, and we're so excited to have you here as a PR marketing director in West Bloomfield. And good luck. I'm sure you have a busy first couple weeks on your hands here.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it.